So now that your project has gone through its first fire, called a bisque fire, it's no longer going to be able to dissolve in water anymore, and it's not going to be nearly as fragile as it was before. So what we're going to do now is we're going to transfer our design onto it, and we're going to glaze it. To transfer the design, what you're going to do is you're going to take a pencil, and you're going to put a heavy coat of pencil over the entire back of your picture. Then you're going to take it and line it up the way it works best, and then you're going to trace over it. When you trace over it, your image will transfer from the paper onto your clay. Now you're ready to go get the glaze. And the student supplies will be paintbrushes that you can use for doing your glaze. You need to do 3 thin coats of glaze. So put a coat on, let it dry, put a coat on, let it dry, put a coat on, let it dry. 3 thin coats, not 3 thick coats. And you're going to make sure that you don't put any glaze on the bottom. If you put glaze on the bottom, it will stick to the kiln when we put it in the kiln. So no glaze on the bottom, 3 thin coats on the top, let it dry in between each coat. As you're doing that, usually if you could do one side, flip it to the other side, and by the time you get this side done, this side is dry again. When you're doing your tracing, make sure that you're tracing what is actually there, not what you think is there. Don't turn a shape that looks like this into this. You guys have a tendency to work very quickly, and instead of looking and using direct observation as to what is there, you put these left brain symbols in there, even when you're tracing. This is tracing so we can trace on the lines. It's a good practice for when we get into our drawing unit.